Welcome everyone. Sorry for the delay. We were supposed to be on at 3 o'clock, but due to some technical issues, we had a problem with my volume, so I had to change computers and all of those wonderful things that happened. But welcome to another week of Derry's Travel Chats for October 22nd, 2020. This week, I will be speaking with AmaWaterways Director of National Accounts, Sandra Gardiner. Sandra began her career as a travel advisor like myself, and later owned her own agency. But then she made the decision to try working and being with a tour operator and see that side of the business. Having spent some time with a coach operator, she was introduced to river cruising and fell in love with the concept of this type of travel. And from there, Sandra joined AmaWaterways about 12 years ago. And she's now part of a family-run organization that focuses solely on cruising, and she has found her passion. So welcome, Sandra, and we know you enjoy your job, and I see it every time you come to St. John's and speak to clients of mine. So thank you very much for coming on and being part of Derry's Travel Chats, even though it's 30 minutes late.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here. Whether we're late or not, it doesn't matter. We're still here.
So Sandra, the world has changed for all of us, whether it's technology problems or viruses. So how has AmaWaterways been able to sail through these difficult times?
Well, it's been really interesting. We, as you know, COVID hit us back in March of last year. And we very quickly made the decision to protect our guests, and the health and safety of our guests was our first priority. And we always looked at things on a 2-week rotating basis as to what point we would suspend, because we never wanted to do it too far in advance. Our hope was that we would get on the waters, of course, in 2020, but that didn't happen. And as you know, we're a global country, and things sort of slowly started closing down, with Southeast Asia kind of taking the first hit in early March. And then South Africa was actually one of the last destinations to close down. And then, of course, our Europe season in March didn't even start. And then where are we now? Well, we made the tough decision just last week that we were going to suspend our river cruise operations through at the end of this year. Now, one of the things that I want to share is that even though we have done this, AmaWaterways is an extremely viable company, because we have 24 sailing vessels right now, and we own our ships, and we actually have no debt on our ships. So all these millions of dollars of hardware are sitting over in Europe right now, and they're not costing us money. So we're in a really great position in that respect. And how did we get there? Well, a few years ago, you might remember that ash cloud that went over Iceland, and then we, had a couple of low water situations where it affected a few of our sailings, and so we decided, the owner, the president, Rudy Schreiner, decided that he was going to get really conservative in his approach to business. So any profits the company made were put right back into the company against any debt that we had. And as a result, we're very happy that we're sitting here today. Even with 3 new ships coming next year, we're not incurring any debt. So, and our staff are still in place. I'm still working full time. I'm putting in a lot of hours. I'm doing a lot of virtual events and meetings and whatnot with my travel advisor partners, and of course with our head office level. So it's been interesting for sure, but it still remains very positive in the world of river cruising.
Excellent. So what are some...
Sorry?
I have a little presentation there to play through, so we'll let that go through.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Listen, it's all today so far. We're good. So you got that little bit of video to show people
I do.
on how AmaWays are dealing with protocols and preparing your ship. So we'll take a quick look at that.
Perfect. And as you know, we started cruising. We have a ship on the water in Europe right now. The Ama Christina, which is the namesake of the co-owner, Rudy's wife, Christine. She started sailing July the 5th, and she's chartered by a German company. So she's floating on the Rhine right now, cruising the Rhine. And they started July 5th. They're still cruising, and they have sailings planned and booked and reserved with guests right through to the end of December. So I'm going to show you the video so that you get an idea of what the protocols are in place. And I feel so blessed that we've actually got to implement these and see how they work. So here we go.
Our world has changed, but the rivers continue to flow. As the proud godmother of our award-winning Ama Christina, I'm honored to tell you that she became one of the very first river cruise ships to start sailing the European rivers this summer. We want to reassure our guests that you will experience the same wonderful AmaWaterways service you have come to love, with some important enhancements to our health and safety protocols to keep both you and our crew healthy throughout your journey. As always, you will be warmly welcomed aboard. Your pre-cruise health questionnaire will be updated and temperatures will be taken. We will sanitize your luggage before delivering it to your stateroom. You will notice our friendly crew wearing face coverings throughout the ship, and we kindly ask you to wear them whenever moving through public spaces. We have made enhancements to the ship so that you may enjoy yourself without the use of a face covering. We are also limiting the number of guests on board. Our crew will be happy to serve you at your table, as well as provide you a delicious room service menu during meal times. While you are relaxing on the sun deck, taking in the breathtaking views, we are busy sanitizing all public areas, exercise equipment and mats, bicycles and helmets. Our incredible variety of included shore excursions are always conducted in small groups. Even with these enhanced health and safety measures in place, our guests are still enjoying a wonderful experience. Since we started AmaWaterways 18 years ago, we have been passionate about creating luxurious, authentic, and inspiring river cruises for every traveler. One of the most important aspects for our guests is the luxury of having peace of mind while traveling. For your comfort and safety, we are offering exclusive airport transfers when you purchase your flight through AmaWaterways. We want to assure you that the health and safety of our guests and crew will always be our top priority. And we look forward to welcoming you on board one of our luxurious river cruise ships soon again.
So just a little bit of what AmaWaterways is doing on the waters to give you an idea of how we've implemented the protocols.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so you want to know what's new at AmaWaterways, I'm sure, right? For 2021, 2022?
Everything is new because it's such an enjoyable vacation.
Excellent. Well, you know, next year we are releasing 5 brand new itineraries on the rivers, which is really exciting for us. We are adding 5 more land extensions to new destinations in Europe. We have 3 beautiful ships bought and paid for that we're going to be launching next year. We're repositioning 2 of our ships to the France area. And we have 2 new rivers that we've added, the Sone River in France and the Nile River in Egypt. And 1 new exotic itinerary, of course, that being our Egypt. So it's so exciting for us, Derek. We're so looking forward to all the wonderful things we have happening. And I even brought just a few pictures here of some of the destinations that we're going to be adding in 2021 and 2022.
Okay.
So
Looking
you might
forward to
remember, I think you did a tulip time cruise, I believe, at one point, no?
I did what?
The tulip time cruise?
No, I did the best of the Rhine.
Right. Okay. Well, our tulip time does incorporate some of the Rhine, and it's very similar to what we're doing on our Best of Holland and Belgium, except we won't have the tulips. So this one is a beautiful exploration throughout the Netherlands, taking in Belgium and the Netherlands. And we're so excited about having this from the continuation of our tulip time itinerary. And this one will operate May to October. And in 2022, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but every 10 years in Europe, in the Netherlands, they host the world's largest horticultural show, and it's called Floriade. And Floriade's amazing. And they were supposed to have it in this year, in 2020, but of course, we couldn't go then. So it was delayed, and it will happen from April till October in 2022. So that's really exciting for us because all of our departures that we have that incorporate Amsterdam will give the opportunity of going to Floriade. So something to do.
What kind of availability will be open for that? Will passengers who were scheduled for this year be given opportunity first, or will it'll be just an open rebooking program?
Actually, if any guests that are booked in April of even 2020 or even 2021, if you decided that you would really like to go and see Floriade, we are giving our guests, I mean, anybody in 2021, of course, can rebook for in 2020. Anybody from this year can book next year or 2022. But even if you're booked in 2021 in April, if you would be more comfortable moving to 2022, we are permitting that as well. So that would give them the opportunity then to incorporate the Floriade Expo.
Yeah, plenty of time for people. The biggest thing right now is for people to be able to look ahead and plan and know that at some point this whole virus hopefully will be diminished, and while the protocols are all there, you can plan ahead for those particular times. So that's great.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's funny because river cruising, when you're river cruising, you are not traveling on international waters. And because of that, there's never an occasion where you would ever be moored offshore and left there. So you would always have that opportunity to be on land or moored, you know, or not moored, but rather docked. Yeah. And for that reason, we have a lot of the deep water, the ocean going clients that are now moving over to a river cruise because of the smaller amount of guests on board. You know, we're carrying what, 140 to 150 on average, except Alma Magna, which is bigger. You know, so smaller amount of guests and so much happening on board in terms of the dining experiences, etc. So we're finding that we're getting a lot of the ocean going travelers coming over to our side to river. So things are booking up very, very well for 2021 and 2022. So it's exciting. Another new itinerary. So if you love wine, we have our new itinerary, Essence of Burgundy and Provence. And this one is amazing. It actually takes in more wine tasting and drinking and whatever than does our Provence itinerary that goes on the lower part of the Rhone. So this is the new Sone River.
How long is that for?
That one? Yeah, that's a 7-night cruise itself, going from Chalon-sur-Saône that you can see here on the map right down to Lyon. And then it takes in a post experience down to, you get off the ship in Arles and then you go down to Barcelona. So we're going to take you through Montserrat, and then post cruise stay would be in Barcelona. And pre-cruise stay on this one's Geneva. So that's exciting.
So what's the difference between, because, you know, I was putting it together for a group for the Bordeaux. So that one started and ended in Bordeaux. This one goes a little longer. Is that right?
The Bordeaux Cruise is actually, it's 7-night cruising as well. And the beauty of Bordeaux, I love the Bordeaux itinerary. It's very focused on not just wine, but also on the culinary aspects of that region. And you're traveling on 3 different bodies of water, because you're on the Garonne River, you're on the Dordogne River, and the Garonne Estuary. So you do experience 3 different, very unique areas. And Bordeaux has all those amazing chateaus and biking through vineyards and going to Saint-Emilion, one of my favorite stops on that itinerary. And in Saint-Emilion, the city was built from the underground up. So it's just fascinating to see. And you'll taste some of the best wines in the Bordeaux region on that one. So good choice for you to choose that particular itinerary.
Well, hopefully in, I would think 2022, the group that we were working with, because it was, as you know, it was a fundraiser to assist people with mental health issues. So hopefully we'll be able to pull all that together again and offer that to the clients and to the general public to participate. And while you have your vacation, then also be able to know that you're doing something for the community as well. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's face it, this year's not been an easy year for a lot of people, and there's been a real increase in those who have suffered from having some mental issues and whatnot. So all the more reason to support that worthy cause that you're behind, and to actually have an opportunity to come and experience a river cruise too, where it continues to support that cause. So yeah. Well done, well done. Another new itinerary, our Rhine castles and Swiss Alps. Now, you mentioned you did the Rhine. Yeah. This one's a Basel to Amsterdam, but what we're doing before is we're taking our guests to the beautiful Lake Como, home of George Clooney and his wife, Armel. So it's a really great place. Maybe they'll be on the dock and you can give them a little wave when we're going by on our little lake cruise. So but as you can see, it's absolutely picturesque and a beautiful destination to enjoy before that cruise.
Excellent.
And then we have our impressions of the Seine, and this is a lovely itinerary as well. It's a one-way itinerary, so you start in Paris, 7-night cruise up to Le Havre, and Le Havre is right on the mouth of the English Channel. So I know that our guests will definitely enjoy all the sights along the way. And of course, we take in the Normandy beaches and whatnot. We're in the area and people love doing that. But what's unique about this one is the land package that we're adding to it at the end. We're going over to Saint Malo in France. This is Saint Malo here. Isn't that spectacular?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Imagine that with the tide out. You could walk on that sand beach right across. You don't have to, because of course you can see there's a causeway, but you could if you wanted to. You could go the one way for sure. And while there, we'll visit the famous Mont Saint-Michel. So there's some spectacular sights for sure. And with AmaWaterways, I don't know if you're aware or not, but we always have our cruise managers traveling on the pre-land excursion or pre-land package.
Yes.
Through the cruise, and then on the post package as well. So our guests have come to really appreciate that and enjoy it.
Well, there's a comfort level that if you're there for the pre and you get to know this person and have a comfort level, so when you're on board the river ship, you're able to enjoy and interact much differently. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you're aware, Derek, but last year we launched our Alma Magna, and the Alma Magna is the world's largest river ship. And she is just spectacular. And the reason I have the picture of her here is she has won all kinds of awards and everything for being the most beautiful riverboat, etc. But what I like is that for those clients who have been on the ocean going vessels and they're thinking about a river cruise, this is a really nice step for them to come over, because this ship is twice as wide as a standard river ship and carries about the same capacity as all of our competitors. So for us, we carry about 190 guests on board, and but it's the luxury of space. Most of the rooms are suites. We have 4 different restaurants on board. There's all kinds of innovations. You can see how lovely, this is a standard room, so you can see how lovely this is. And there's a cinema on board and spin classes. As I mentioned, the 4 different restaurants. And we're really, really loving this ship, and she's selling so well for us. And with that, I want to share with you some of our new enhancements that we have.
Okay.
So we introduced my AmaCruise app, and I know you're familiar with this one.
I have it on my phone, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great app because we're trying to replace paper. We want to protect the environment. So we went with an app where all the guests on board can pull up their itinerary. They can look at, they can put their pictures there. So the pictures remain with the cruise they stayed on, and they can reference that later. They can send postcards. There's a whole host of activities. Another item that we did is our sip and sail, and this is so much fun. So it's happy hour. We've always had our champagne breakfast, and we do offer the free-flowing beer, wine, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. And of course, the wines are all hand-selected and premium blends from the regions we travel through. But we added sip and sail. And it's so much fun coming in that hour before dinner, and you get all the briefing on what's happening the next day, mix and mingle with your friends and enjoy some cocktails or whatever it is that you like to drink. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a big change, because a few years ago when I was on, it was happening, but it was at your own expense. So, but it's great to have that included now. So.
Absolutely. And another great feature that we've implemented as a result of the pandemic. So good things do come of bad experiences, but in the dining, we've always had traditionally a buffet breakfast that you could have. You could order from a menu at the table, but we had our buffet, and at lunch we had all the cold items on a buffet. No more buffets. So we've already refurbished 4 of our ships where we've taken out the whole buffet area. It will be a la carte. And Rudy actually said, you know what, when I go out for breakfast, I don't go for a buffet breakfast. I go to a nice restaurant. And if I'm in a nice restaurant, I want my food brought to me. So we feel we're luxury. And as a luxury brand, we definitely want to have people taken care of. So buffets will be gone, and it's a process to convert the ships, of course, and we've started, and that's something that's new moving forward as well.
I hope when it comes to service, I will say that, and I don't know if he's still with you or not, but his name was George, and he took care of us when we were on the ship in 2016, and because there was 8 of us, and he was just fabulous to have that personal attention. So going a la carte, I can imagine that it's even, you get to know your waiters and waitresses even more so. So great move on behalf of Alma. So good job.
Absolutely. I love it. And it's funny you speak about the staff and how people always tend to gravitate to a certain area in the dining room, and they find that waiter, that server that they love. And by the end of the cruise, everybody's hugging. Well, maybe not right now with the pandemic, but in past times, people would be hugging and exchanging emails or Facebook or whatever the case may be. And you become fast friends, and that stays for a long time. So you really, coming on our ships, you do become a part of a family. And that's one of the things that I absolutely adore about working for AmaWaterways. So it's definitely good. And then the wellness program, another thing that we implemented back in 2009, and I love this program as well. We have an actual wellness coach who throughout the day will offer different fitness classes, that sort of thing. So it could be doing yoga or Pilates on the sun deck or core strengthening classes. My favorite was the champagne yoga, of course, where you're drinking champagne and you're doing the yoga, and it was so much fun. And I think that was the favorite of everybody the week I was on board. But there's always a host of activities by the wellness host, and well worth doing if you want to eat all the great food that we have on board. So, and then
moose cakes are delicious.
Right? I know. I hear you. And the meringues in the main lounge, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then finally, to wrap up the enhancements, the shore excursions. And all I want to say about that is with AmaWaterways, we have always given a variety of included shore excursions in every single port that we come into, with the choice of pace as well. And we have always maintained a small group of people when we're doing these. And now with the pandemic moving forward, we will retain that small group atmosphere. So we'll, have more guides and less people per group. So that's a really nice thing to have when you're out on tour as well. You feel very VIP-like when you're traveling. Yeah. And now you can see my new exotic destination. So 2021, I'm so excited. In September, we're going to Egypt. And yeah, right. And I'm honestly, I'm over the moon about this one.
Ride a camel.
You get to ride a camel. If you want to ride a camel, we can make it happen. You want to believe it. And it's an extraordinary program because it's not just a river cruise, but the core program itself is 3 nights in Cairo, and we do a lot of tours and whatnot there. Then we'll take you down to Luxor, and we get on the Amadalia, our ship there. We'll cruise for 7 nights, round trip Luxor. We'll visit Aswan, we'll visit Kamambo and Luxor, and then we'll come back and do 1 night in Cairo. And we have an optional tour as well to Abu Simbel. So it's just magnificent. And just to flip through some of the pictures of what you can expect here, amazing. Cairo is just such an exquisite city. And we're going to, of course, visit all those fantastic temples that are out there that you want to see. And we'll be on the Nile River, where we have just sites on both sides of the banks. It doesn't matter what way you look, you're going to have it. And all of this on what looks like a luxury yacht. Our Amadalia, she only has 34 staterooms. So imagine the maximum would be 68 guests on board. And let me tell you, this product is selling like crazy. We have sold most of 2021. We've sold a good portion of 2022. And we're actually now working out the pricing on our 2023. So it is absolutely beautiful. Rudy bought it. We took it right down to the hull, and we've rebuilt the entire ship. So it's going to be amazing.
And that's the key for people who are watching them and saying, I'm going to get back. Now they can see that, all of a sudden it's actually 3 years out before they might be able to do this. So let's get together and let's plan it and let's make that dream come true. So
absolutely, you're absolutely right. It's funny, people want to have something that they can hold on to. They want to look to the future. And honestly, with us, it's not full payment at time of booking. We only ask for a deposit. If you're in the US, your deposit would be $400. In Canada, it would be $500 per person. We highly recommend that guests purchase our Travel Waiver Plus. This is not insurance, it's more assurance. What the Travel Waiver Plus will do is give you that peace of mind. It protects your investment. You can cancel for any reason whatsoever, and you would get a full future cruise credit at the value for any services that you purchase through AmaWaterways. So it's a really good thing to have to protect that investment. And like I say, it's only deposit now. Final payment's not due until 90 days before you depart. So it's really good.
Excellent. Good. Nice program.
Yeah, exactly. And we do have some specials out there because, as I said, people are booking right now. We have found that from really July was one of our heaviest booking months. We had a lot of people early on who had future cruise credits that have taken those and converted it back into new bookings. We've had people that took refunds. Okay, imagine this. They took the refund. They have now come back to us and said, we want to give you back our money and take a future cruise credit and apply it to a new booking. And we've been doing that, and we'll continue to do that until the end of November. So that's a really nice opportunity if you know where you want to go to have a little additional on that future cruise credit. So
excellent.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful program. And then further to that, what I'd like to do is, because you're joining us here today, I would like to make available to you a virtual cruise event offer. So I've got 4 sailings here for next year, and they are later into next year. We've got July and August, so good time to be traveling. Nice way to put something on that list of yours that you've got future travel plans, because I'm telling you, the pent-up desire for travel is incredible right now.
Yeah.
So with this cruise night offer, as long as you book with Derek by October 31st, we can secure you on any one of these sailings, and it's 2 for 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an offer.
It is a good offer. So, and I'll make sure, Derek, that you've got the copy on this, but I'm pretty sure you might have it. And
Yeah.
that's it. So we've covered the gamut of what's happening with AmaWaterways.
Well, that's excellent, Sandra. Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
I mean, river cruising and the large cruise ships and all that. Some people, when we talk about river cruising, say, oh, that's only for old people. What's your experience with the demographic who are now? Because I know that there's is not all the older people. It's there's a wide demographic. So can you give our listeners some idea on that demographic?
Sure. Everybody's always welcome on our ships. And for us, our actual average age is between 55 and 70. So that is the bulk of the guests on board. Now, we do have a lot of younger, and we do have a lot of older as well. But for the most part, that's what we're carrying on board. So it's really, really nice to know that there's something for everyone, for all travelers. We do have active activities. We have biking, we have hiking, which tend to draw the younger demographic. We have some fantastic wine cruises. The wine cruises tend to draw a younger demographic. Now, with the choice of pace in all of our shore excursions, it doesn't matter what your age is. If you want to go nice and slow, you can go on a gentle walking experience. If you want to go quicker, then you can definitely go faster or do more adventurous with the hiking and biking. So truly, there's something there for every age group.
And in the whole culinary in your restaurants, I know when we were on board, there was a special restaurant at the end of at the back of the ship, and then you had your full dining room in front, and there was a availability for booking these specialty dinings, especially if when we were there, it happened to be our anniversary during that time, and so all 8 of us ate at this particular place. Yeah. So what's the procedure for people booking those particular kinds of things?
Absolutely. If you have a special occasion or something and you want to book a particular night of your cruise, you can definitely let us know that in advance so that we can pre-book it. Otherwise, you simply wait till you get on board the ship and let them know at the front desk what night you would like to go to the specialty dining. And the only reason that you have to book those in advance is because our specialty restaurant, there's no additional charge for it, of course, but it holds a lower capacity of guests. So anywhere from 24 to 32 people will dine together. They'll enjoy a wonderful tasting menu complete with a wine pairing, and it's just spectacular. So tasting menu, of course, is where you get 3 or 4 different appetizers, 3 or 4 different main courses, and then 3 or 4 different desserts, and you do all the palate cleansing in between. It's so much fun. And we definitely make that available for every single guest on board, that they get to do that once. And if there's space, you can do it twice if you want, but it is a fixed menu. It doesn't change for the entire week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just speak about some people can look at the river cruise ships and say, how small are the staterooms that are being used? So I know you showed some pictures of some of them.
Yeah.
Just how do you feel about the size and the amount of space that you offer?
Well, it's interesting. When Rudy and Christine and their partner, Jimmy Murphy, when they started the company back in 2002, their vision was to create a ship that they themselves would love to cruise on, but they also wanted to have a lower capacity of guests so that they could afford the luxury of space. So staterooms on our ship are considerably larger than they are on our competitor ships, and we carry less guests. So we have between 140 and 150 that will come on board our ships, and on the Alma Magna about 190. Most companies carry between 160 and 190, so they're substantially more, which means smaller staterooms when you have a higher capacity. Our average stateroom on our French balcony ships is 335 square feet. So it's not that much smaller than what you see in a big stateroom on an ocean-going vessel. And most of our ships do have outdoor balconies, and if not, they have French balconies. So the biggest part of the ship do have, you know, the air that you can go outside or open a window. And we do bring fresh air into every area on our ship. It's never recycled air. So that's another nice benefit of being on a river cruise as well.
Guests, the number of guests and the style of guests, there's people go as couples, and you have your single traveler.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you know, people will say, well, you know, the single supplement brings the price really out of range for me. What kind of things do you do for single travelers and try to support that particular market?
You know what, for 2021, we have a program right now where we're only offering, it's only 25% for a single traveler to come on board with us. So we're adding 3 ships, and we've resecured 2 that we had chartered out to somebody else. So we have that luxury now of space where we can accommodate more of our single guests to come on board with us. So with that, we decided only to add 25%. So that's pretty spectacular when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at supplements and some other programs, that's quite a good pricing for them. So, and especially you know, because there's people who they want their privacy, they don't necessarily want to bunk up with people or meet people that way. So, yeah, that's excellent. It's nice to hear that, Sandra. So, I'm sure that'll be encouraging for some people to come on board as well. So.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Sandra. Again, I apologize for the problem with the technology at the start. I'm probably going to have to invest in a new computer. But it was great having you on board. Great seeing you again. I can't wait for the time that you're able to come back over to Newfoundland and we can do our group and in-person consumer type of talks and so that people can really see you and understand your passion for river cruising. And I can tell you, anyone watching here today can understand your passion for this part of the industry. So thank you very much for being on board with me today.
Well, thank you so much for supporting AmaWaterways. We absolutely love you, Derek, and we look forward to getting together in person down the road. But you know what? I'm always here for you. So reach out anytime you need me.
All right. Well, thank you again to Sandra, and to everyone. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again next week with my guest will be from Air Canada Vacations, Judy Munden, and we'll talk some more back then. So have a good afternoon, everyone. And Sandra, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.